So, what, in your opinion, what's the proper balance between makeup and visual effects and working together in a movie?
Well, I think visual effects should help augment things you can do with prosthetics and makeup, but makeup should be the basis of any creature that you can possibly do as a prosthetic. If you're doing a bipedal creature, it should start with makeup, or at least a maquette, or many maquettes, to work out the real world proportions, how it's all going to move, how it's going to work, that sort of thing. But a perfect example of that is Crimson Peak. We had 3 ghosts in Crimson Peak. All 3 of them, we had 4 ghosts. 3 of them were prosthetics. The 4th one was fully CG. And the fully CG one, we actually, instead of doing what you normally would with a creature, you go crazy with the subsurface, you go crazy with everything else. We actually took and matched the shaders to what the prosthetic ghosts were for the CG, fully CG ghost. And that was in NOLA, in case anybody has seen the movie. The Hair and the Baby, yeah. And we did go through a lot of iterations on that. I mean, we had a whole version of the movie where it was all just prosthetic and CG augmentation. But then, Guillermo, having, a little bit of extra money for this one, he started shopping around a little bit. Okay, we want to make the ghosts transparent. Okay, now we want to put skeletons inside of them. Okay, now we want to put ectoplasm on them. And it was kind of this back and forth where we were trying to maintain the physicality of what he had made on the set and on film, and then do our best to not go too crazy with the CG. And whether or not we were successful with that, I'll leave that up to the audience. But it was there were versions where it was completely prosthetic. They were still solid. They still, they had a little bit of ectoplasm on them, but there are ways to kind of push things a little bit too far, but you can always bring them back and make them look better.
And it's always a process too.
Yeah.
You almost never go into the film. You almost never know what the film is until you have your first versions of everything in like a sequence where you can evaluate it just in terms of storytelling, in terms of how it makes you feel. So I've worked with Guillermo a bunch too, did a bunch on The Strain. One thing CG is incredibly good at that prosthetics aren't is negative space. So we can take things away in CG that's impossible to do with makeup. Like all of the vampires in Strain, the older ones, their noses were missing and there's just cavities that go on inside of their heads. There's 5 versions of the Master, but there was one at the beginning of season 2 where half of his face is like Two-Face, where we actually had his eye swiveling loose in the socket. You can see through his cheek, and that's exactly half and half. It's half practical, half CG, and we have perfect lighting reference. We also, again, it's a Guillermo show, so the concept art and the design is worked out well in advance.
And we plan for that sort of thing. So, if we're gonna take a nose off, or like on Pamela Ghost and Crimson Peak, we took the whole side out, making that negative space. We knew that was coming, so we throw a patch of green there, and we can use that. But we work kind of hand in hand with the prosthetics guys to design these things, and it tends to work better if we're involved with them from the beginning. So.
Well, and with 3D printing these days, it's very, very common. Like the Legacy FX guys took our scans that we used to make the assets of the actors. They used that to actually make the molds, and vice versa. Like we would send, because the prosthetic companies more and more work with 3D printers to make a lot of their molds, resin castings, things like that. And those files are interchangeable with the VFX crews, so it's really common these days for us to share our data back and forth quite often.
Sally was a good example of that. We shared the head scan that we did at Sally Hawkins for Shape of Water. We gave that to Legacy, and they used that to build a mask for the double or the stunt person to wear under the water when